Well, g'day, Mr. Wayne Zaloum from Napier Collision Repair Centre over there all the way in sunny Napier in New Zealand. Welcome to Planning Plus and our little online interview.
Yeah, good evening, Gavin. Pleased to be here and speaking with you. It's 7:35 in the evening here. Just had tea and a red wine and fantastic.
Life's
Looking forward
good.
to our chat.
Yeah, well, it's quite interesting because I would have been over there this month because of the Collision Repair Association conference. But as we know, there's no international travel. So we're all bound to our chairs at home or at the office.
Yeah, well, that's a good point, mate. You know, like it's been pretty tough over here, like it has been everywhere with this COVID thing, and you know, we've all been reflecting and how our business is going to run and how we're going to cope with the downturn of work. And for me, it's has been a time of reflection where I've missed quite a few of the webinars through a bit of a technical glitch where I wasn't getting the invites, but I spoke to Gavin and he sort of set me straight, and we got online and found out where all these webinars were, and I've spent hours and hours looking at his webinars and all the knowledge about the eForms and reports, and it's been very enlightening.
Oh, well, that's awesome to hear. So what's the overall effect of COVID had on your business? How have you seen it from the effect on the business?
Well, I think the key thing for us is that we've geared our business up to do between 50 and 55 cars a week on average. So we've got the staff levels to do that. So that means that our waiting time to get in is between 2 and 3 weeks, which is acceptable for the insurance companies because the process we have to go through in New Zealand with Parts Trader and all that, it's generally a week to 10 days before we've got parts on the spot. So you take that into account, 2 to 3 weeks is acceptable. A lot of the other shops around are 6 to 8 weeks, which is not acceptable. So the COVID thing's put a spanner in the works because we come back to only 2 to 2.5 weeks, which we've chewed that work out already. And because there's been no accident, it's been really slow coming up. So we're only really operating at 75%, even though some of the boys are running 100 to 115% efficiencies. The downturn in the business is still approximately 25%.
Mm. So in that time, what has it allowed you to do for the business?
Well, again, I've got to go back to the webinars that I've read and watched and on all the reporting. So it's been able to fine tune to do a lot more training with the employees as well, especially the first couple of 3 weeks back. Time logging is a very key thing. It's like anything in business. Change is not a good word to the staff, but we're changing all the time with our staff. We're talking to them in our meetings, but we're taking it a step further now. We're shifting our office. We're putting a training room in. We're doing one-on-ones with them, and we're going to keep like taking small bites out of the elephant until these guys get it, and they will get it. And it's hard. It's easy for us to sit back and say, "Oh, you got to do this. You got to do this," but you can't yell and scream at them because that doesn't work, and we all know that. So we've just got to keep training until they get it. We're going pretty good, and it's great to see that we actually see every day what they're doing, how much time they've spent on each task. And when it comes to accountability, it's not only for the staff, it's for the insurance company, the assessor rings and says, "Oh, you want 15 hours to do this job?" And I said, "Yeah, well, here it is here. Here's the time log." It's proof. You've got accountable proof. You can talk to them amicably and show them proof that you did 15 hours on that job. You can even go back and say, "Look at the last 4 jobs. He's running at 100%, and all of a sudden he's down at 60%. So, you know, that means that the job took longer. So it's a great tool. It's a fantastic tool, and I think it's going to improve our profitability, and that's what we're all doing it for.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I know that when we were talking on that support call, that was basically around time recording, and then we went on to about the webinars, and you caught on with that and started watching them from home. So so much for that. Happy wife, happy life. Here's Wayne stuck at home watching his webinars of a night with a red wine, but maybe Kath was comfortable with that.
She was knitting, mate. She was knitting, knitting jerseys for the grandson.
Exactly. They keep
Classic.
themselves busy. But it
Yeah.
was,
Hey, look,
we actually then went down as the subject line of eForms, which you weren't too, because of the busyness of the business, you just couldn't get yourself to some things that you possibly might have liked to have got to previous to COVID-19. So then we explored the eForms, and I got you to send over your loan car agreement, and we manipulated that into an eForm and shot it back to you. And how did you find that experience of taking this paper-based form to an electronic form? How did you find that?
yeah, well, again, Gavin, it's one of those things. Oh, I should do, and you just don't sit back and say, look, I'm going to do this today. That's what I'm going to do. I figure that I reckon that whole thing the whole process took 2 hours. So all this time I've been putting it off, it took 2 hours. Okay, it was over 2 days by the time I did my bit and learned a bit about it, sent it to you, and then you did your bit, and then all up 2 hours we were doing a test, and it was quite funny. I can remember you sent it back, and I thought, shit, this is fantastic. And I showed my office lady, and she was really dubious about it. And I thought, well, this is a good thing. So we did a couple of tests. We rung people and said, look, we're going to send you through our new eForm, our loan car agreement. Just read it and tick the boxes and sign it and send it back. And we did that one, and that was fine. And then we thought, oh, well, we'll do another one. And then we did another one. Now we've been doing it for 2 weeks, and chucked all the other paper out. It's fantastic. It's easy. And I tell you what, when you're doing 50 to 55 cars a week, we carry over 10, sometimes 15 each week. So you've got 30, 35 cars coming in each week. So, that's going to be 5 or 6 cars, 7 cars every morning. And most people like dropping their cars off before they go to work. They don't come in at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I said, yes. You get 6 people coming in wanting to fill out loan car agreements. It just doesn't work. And Murphy's Law says they come in at the same time. They won't come in one at a time.
Yeah.
So now it's great. We just hand them the key, guide them to their loan car, point them where it is. They've gone. We log the petrol. Boom. It's fantastic. Hey, like, I don't know why we didn't do it 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. You just go through these things, and then you find out that, hey, let's give this a shot. So overall, what's the process now for your loan car agreements with the customers?
Well, they come in for the quote. We do the assessment, flick them off. Then we text them, we SMS them off Planning Plus, send them out their loan car agreement. Also with the SMS saying when we're booking them in. So okay, they know when they're coming in. It could be 2 weeks down the track. They get the loan car agreement followed up from that in the state of an eForm. They send it back. If it comes back the next day, we can put a time date on our eForm. So there's a green tick on the taskbar on the side, the slide bar. It's green, and the agreement's there that we can open up and see exactly what they've done. And also, if they haven't done it, when we do our time and a date for that week, we can see all the blue ticks that people haven't sent back, so we can follow that up. So when they do, the day before they come in, we SMS all our clients again to remind them that they do have to come in. And we tell them what car they're taking, registration and everything, so they know exactly what they're doing. So when they come in, give them the key. We don't have to escort them around the workshop to find out what car they've got. They just go and get it. They're all in one area. So it's really simple.
Yeah, that's cool. So that the benefit to the business is obviously a reduction in stress. You've got, where you're at up front with your customers that have filled out your forms. You can organise them. You can make the drop off of the car a much more seamless process for the customer.
100%. And you don't have to have 4 or 5, 6 people in the office. And like our reception is fairly sizable, but yeah, it's not geared up for that. Like, it's a fantastic tool. And and in this day and age, you don't have to see them. We don't have to talk to them.
Yeah. And that's for them is that sets up the experience of, well, look, if it was that seamless to drop my car in, I really don't have to concern myself about what they're going to do and the quality at which they're going to do it, because they've already proven to me how technically advanced they are in relation to the technology they're using. So it just builds a little bit of a comfort buffer for the customer.
Oh, exactly. And it's like any email you get from these corporates. On the bottom of the email, it's always got, don't print this out unless you have to, save the world, sort of thing. And it's
Yes.
and it's true. Like the paper that you go through in the panel shops, it's terrible. So, and this is just the start of the journey for us on the eForms. So it's we've already had the meeting with the staff to say that, look, we're going to QC eForms as well, implementing more boards around the place. So all my panel beaters have laptops, the whole lot. Painters have got 4 stations out there. So there's no excuse not to be near a laptop or a planning board. So that's the key. That's the key. You got to stop those people coming to the office all the time. And if we can just click on our dashboard and say, right, it's gone through to the prime stage, QC forms filled out, excellent.
Yeah. And it's the old adage, isn't it? Slow down to go faster. But and if you can, once you understand that, the way that works, things certainly flow a lot better. So from the loan car agreement, we can step you into the quality control. We can then step you down the lines of the customer survey and getting that out. So if you can get a customer survey out to a customer, and if they've got a little bit of negative feedback, but if you can get that within a day of them getting the car, you've got an opportunity to jump on it really quickly and just review their concern and manage that more effectively.
Oh, opportunity for improvement. Exactly. It's huge, and it's very understated, because we're all scared about that, and that's why we don't do them. A lot of shops don't do customer service because they're scared of the result. But opportunity for improvement. That's what it's all about. So it's something we should grasp and not be scared of.
Yes, definitely. It was funny today. I was looking in our portal in the back end, and you guys are using our Image Plus app, and you so far up to date, you have uploaded just over 50,500 images through our app over the 2 sites. You've got your structural down the road, and then your main site, your conventional. So what difference has that made to the processing of jobs and supplements and etc.?
Oh, look, it's a training thing, and the guys are really good at it, and it's something that evolves all the time. We talk about it at every toolbox meeting about taking good photos, not 100 photos, but good photos. Tell the story. It's alleviated a lot of time for me, like throughout the whole process. I used to check all the time whether they've done it. Now it's like your hammer or your screwdriver. They just pick it up, they take it. They're all got smartphones, and it's working brilliantly. Like it's revolutionised my life. I don't have to sit there. Well, someone's got to transfer the photos. If you're doing it the old way, someone has to do it. Where my production manager was busy, my estimator's busy, so it fell on me, and that was something that used to take me up to an hour a day. Now I've got an hour free.
And it's more just reviewing when it comes to the processing of the SUP and the invoicing side of things.
Yeah, 100%. Like and everything's coming in order, which is fantastic. This car's getting stripped, it's getting repaired, then it's getting primed, and we're getting those photos. So it's all in order. So at the end of the day, when I'm doing my invoicing, I'm not shuffling photos around trying to get them in order, so the assessor can actually see what's going on from the R&Rs to the paint. It's definitely has revolutionised the place, because it's freed up my time, and my time's valuable.
Yeah. Yep. Well, you've got to be working on the business, not in it, and looking to all the things systems that you can refine. So it's interesting. If we go back to before you started with Planning Plus, and what would you identify as, say, 3 major things that were happening within your business, but since the implementation of Planning Plus, those things you no longer have to deal with, or they've been resolved, or they're greatly improved?
That's a good question. I, I suppose, like I touched on it right from the start, like we were a busy shop, and I was running around the shop with my head chopped off, trying to sort things out and talk to everyone. And that I suppose there's quite a few points, and it's quite hard to summarise in one hit. But it's the systems it brought for a start. I've really got good systems in the business now. They're always been reviewed. Getting the boys a good workflow, a nice even workflow, so they can achieve. Having the guy start one job, finish it, start the next job, finish it, not doing 3 jobs in one hit. That just doesn't work. So they've got a really good balanced workflow. They can see what they're doing over the whole week, where before it was me running out and telling them what to do, or the production guy to run out and tell them what to do, and that just doesn't work. Good, and it gives the staff like to see their reports, and never had that before. We'd have a meeting and we'd say, "Oh, you're doing really well," but it really had nothing to show them. Now we print out lovely graphs and their reports and how efficient they are, and they love that. They love it. Even to a simple text at the end of the week, "Well done, team." We just SMS, "Well done, team." The whole paint shop ran at 114% this week. Top effort. They thrive on that.
Yeah, it's just that feedback, isn't it?
Yeah. And like I say, I'm not sure if I'd be around today with this COVID thing hitting New Zealand if I didn't have Planning Plus. And the worst thing about Planning Plus is that I should have had it 25 years ago and not 19 years ago. But
yeah.
but it's we haven't talked about Numbers Plus, but that's something I don't use a lot of, but I don't have to. But it's a lot cheaper than my accountant, trust me.
Yeah. And in the early stages, that's where the power of Numbers Plus really would have shone, because it was taking an accountant's basically report and converting it into a what we call a tradesman's body shop owner's report to say, well, here's your traffic lights, here's your main KPIs, here's where you're red, amber, green. Now let's drill down on what are the things that drive that part of your business.
Yeah, I still use it. It's a great tool, because I go back 6 years, 5 years, and
just look at some of the historical patterns.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, it's cool. The industry's changed that much, and we've got so many things going on. And it's when you look at those sort of like historical reports, and then you can do some comparisons, you can go, wow, that's how it used to flow. And then I remember at that point there, that's what came into the industry, so that's what changed that number slightly. And because I remember when it was parts trader came in, and so the impact that had on New Zealand and the numbers.
100%. And it's quite funny. I think I told you I found the old tickets when I was having a clean up upstairs the other week, where we used to stand there and actually feed them into the board, and really interesting. But hey, it worked, and that was a fantastic tool. But we've definitely gone forward into 2021 this time. But yeah, look, it's been a great tool for Napier Collision. There's no doubt about it, and still is. We're not running it perfect by a long shot, but we're getting there. And I would say by the end of the year, I'm hoping to have our QC eForms in place. So therefore, there'll be only 2 bits of paper in the folder.
Yep.
A job sheet and a yellow sub sheet, and that's it. That's all we need.
And that'll be it. Yeah. So and then we've got our expectation is on our shoulders now on where do we go with our cloud development.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
How much better can we make it? What type of features can we build into it? And that's another reason why even the survey that we sent out a few months ago about it was, we sent that through our own eForms just so people could experience. We were utilizing ourselves. We're not running a body shop, we're running a software company. But we could manipulate it to just say, well, let's show our customers that we can utilize our own tools to communicate with you guys.
Yeah, it's interesting. We go away, we go to the CRA meetings locally and all that, and you talk to guys and you think, man, you guys, like you're 20 years behind. So none of us, well, I know most of us, we're not scholars, And not at my age anyway. Like most of us panel shop owners at this age that have started their own shop, none of us are scholars. But you don't have to be using Planning Plus. You don't have to be a scholar. You just got to read and watch the webinars, and it just tells you everything. And there's still a lot of shops out there that don't know their numbers. And I'm surprised they can stay in business.
Yeah, the numbers is the key. It's not only the numbers are the key, but it's sharing the numbers as well, which I think is a critical thing that quite a lot of businesses miss. I don't know what it is with that, whether it's a fear of sharing that information that they think could create a negative effect because the results are good. But I think in today's world, sharing of the numbers is a critical part of what needs to take place. If you think about our dashboard, we've got a daily, weekly, and monthly, quarterly, yearly scorecards. So that's what we need to have happen from a lot of these guys that don't take it seriously.
Oh, exactly. Lost my train of thought there for a tick, but it's culture change, and that's the hard thing about the whole thing. No matter when you first start off on this journey, the guys just think, oh, that he wants us to work harder. So it's really important that you involve your staff, you talk to them. You don't put the pressure on, but you've got to get them to understand what you're trying to achieve. And it's quite, well, I would say it's more often than not that the guy that you think's the best guy in your team is quite often not. And when you start seeing those efficiencies and numbers, you start to realise that, shivers, oh, John, he goes pretty good, but he doesn't look like he's working that hard, but he's going pretty good. So it's that culture change, and that's all part of it. You've just got to keep on talking to your staff, and you know the ones that don't like being monitored, for a better word, and you're not monitoring them because you know they start work at 8 o'clock and go to 5, so they know they're working, but are they efficient while they're there? And once they understand that, you'll just go in leaps and bounds, and your profitability will go up. But you do have to talk constantly to them, and it is a really, really hard time. I know when we first did it, Gavin, a long, long time ago, the first 6 months to 8 months were torture, but we come out and it's been absolutely fantastic. It's put us in a really good financial situation.
Well, I remember back in those days there when I first went on site, and I pretty much just had to pull you aside and just say, "Hey, Wayne, just trust me on this.
Yeah.
Just trust me. Just come on the ride with me." Because there were so many things that were changing for you back then that were really impactful and put you in that state of, oh my God, what's taken place? But now we can go down the line and you can go, okay, yep, I understand the journey now.
Yeah, but we're still on the wave, and that's the good thing about it. You know, like we're still standing up and we're still cruising.
Yeah.
And there's lots of changes, and we've just got to keep changing, because if you don't, you're going to get left behind. And once you get left behind, you can't. It's too hard to get back. And the insurance companies are changing on a yearly basis. You just never know what's going to come out with all insurance companies, and they're doing it to benefit their company, and so we've got to do it to keep up with them.
And you've got to be on the front foot. Like you've been on the front foot, like you've expanded the business, you've put the heavy structural just down the road. So that's getting managed down there. You've changed some things up with the main conventional shop to get that flow on the more drivable jobs that are coming in and out on a regular basis. And I know you guys use our internal messaging system a lot, which is really cool. I really like that little module. It's something that I get a lot of feedback on. And also, I remember last year when I was on site there and we were doing a little bit of coaching and consulting, and we reviewed all the admin tasks and we just restructured those admin tasks and flags. So I'd just like to ask you, based on that, what changes and benefits has that brought to the business?
Oh, once again, it's just shared communication. Like our whole workshop, down to the groomer, knows exactly what's going on. The groomer's responsibility, one would just think, would be to clean a car, but not our groomer. Yes, that's his primary task, but he looks after all our sublets. He knows when the car's got to go to the wheel alignment, so he will go to the board, he'll flag it off-site, the car off-site, and it's at the wheel alignments. So we just glance across the sublets and we see, right, it's off-site, so we don't have to go looking for Jim to see if he's taken the car. It's gone. We know it's gone. When it comes back, he flags it completed, so we know the wheel alignment's done and it's back on site. So he does that with all the sublets that he's involved with. We've got the decal man that comes in and puts our decals on. He goes to the board. He clicks it when it's done. Our glass people, they go to the board and they see the glass sublet on that particular job. They flag it as done. Down the road at our structural shop, the guys do that for him because hasn't got a board. But yeah, so it's to stop them to come and see me. You know, like in the early days, we'd probably get. I'd hate to think now you're probably getting 30 or 40 trips to the office from people. Now we'd be hard pressed to get half a dozen a day.
Yeah.
And some of those didn't need to come to the office. They just wanted to come for a walk for a chat. But, you know, but most of it, the internal messaging system is fantastic. It's like I say, it's stop them coming from the office. And we don't want guys, even though they're in a nice uniform, we don't want them coming into the office. People don't want to see that. And everything's documented. It's all hidden behind there. Like everyone can see it. If there's a problem and say, hey, but you said this. It's all about accountability again.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, all right. Well, look, I'll let you go. It's been great having a catch up, and thanks for the feedback on that. And I'm really pumped that we got that loan car agreement across the line for you and got you using it, because I just knew in my heart, and I just knew that just let me just fine tune it here. Let me just run a couple. I'll show you how it works. And we were dinging it to your phone, and you were dinging it back, and then you just go, right, team, let's roll out.
It's a great tool. Well, like I say, we should have done it years ago. And it's simple. My office lady loves it now.
Yeah,
we got no one coming in the office. 3 or 4 people at the counter filling in loan car agreements, which were they're pretty old and prehistoric anyway. They needed updating, but this works well. So yeah, I'd applaud anyone to get on board and go with all this, because certainly changed our business, the whole thing. And is not only did it change our business, it still is. And like I said before, we're on the wave still, and we're going faster now. Wait till we get onto the QC sheets. I think it's going to be a great tool.
Yeah, and then we wait till we get you on the cloud next year once we've finished off on that one. So, mate, we're moving on a little bit with age, but we've still got some passion and energy.
No, it's been a great journey, and it's a journey we'll continue. With the changes you've got going, it's exciting for everyone. You know, we should get more people on board. It'll happen for them.
Yep, absolutely. All right, mate. Well, you go off now and finish another glass of red wine, and I'll go up and get some dinner because I'm a couple of hours behind you.
Yeah. All right. Good talking to you, Gavin. It's always good fun, mate.
Yeah, good on you, Wayne. Appreciate that, mate.
Gavin.
Bye for now.
Catch you later. See ya.
Bye.